Once they leave me a voicemail, most of them go ahead and send me a text as well. And you see, once I follow up with them, then they find out they've got to pay a $500 consultation fee just to get me to come to your house and talk to you. Now, how many people you think want to do that? Not too many, I assure you. And I thank you for all the ones that don't, because I don't want to come and give you any of my time or any of my information, no more than I want to even believe that you exist and are willing to waste my time to receive some free information. I ain't into that stuff. Then you got to find out, if you want to do a job with me, you got to pay 100% of your contract in full, or we ain't working for you. And if you got a problem with that, I could care less, because I don't care if we ever get a job for you or not. I am only interested in doing business with people who are cool to do business with, for one, who keep their word, for two, and number three, most importantly, appreciate the type of quality that you see us bringing to the table on each and every single project you see me posting videos about right here at youtube.com/TannerFlowers. And guys, you three could not have done a better job than what I see right here behind me. I'm so proud of you. And I want to say thank you in front of the whole world, and the whole world's watching, and the whole world is as blown away with your guys' efforts as I am, whether they take the time to mention it to you or not. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm proud of you. You guys are the best, and there ain't nobody that can touch us. And as long as we keep up this work ethic, guys, as long as we continue with this quality that we've always delivered right here at Tennessee Technician, there is not a single company in the entire world that stands a chance at competing with the best in the business when it comes to these crawl space encapsulations. You know what I'm talking about. You heard what I'm saying, and you've been hearing what I'm saying, and you better listen to what I'm saying, because it's your wallet that depends on it. It's your money, and if you want to waste it, by God, go ahead and waste it. I've got so many $500 consultations waiting for me to get to their house, and I don't even know when I'm able to get there, guys. That's what kind of world I live in. So look, I ain't here to play, and I mean what I say. So if you want to do business, we can do some business. And if you don't, and you're here to price shop and all that, let me tell you something. I ain't putting in no bids. I could care less what anybody's going to do that job for you for. Matter of fact, I 110% hope that I'm always more expensive than any other person in the world that you could ever get on the other end of that phone concerning these issues that we deal with and take care of over and over and over, and been taken care of for so many years right here at Tennessee Technicians. I'm going to stop this video right now before I have a freaking heart attack. If you want something done, feel free to go through the gauntlet at 423-503-0512. You already know how we do, and come find out for yourself exactly why so many people around the world choose to do business with this loudmouth, tattooed up boy from Southeast Tennessee named Tanner freaking Flowers. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, by the way. If you haven't done so already, it really helps the algorithm. What is going on, guys? Tanner Flowers here, and we are pulling up onto the scene of some beautiful property. This property belongs to my buddy Richard, who recently moved to Athens, Tennessee, all the way from down in Florida. You see, Richard has been out here preaching the word of God for many years, and he preaches just up here at a church locally in Athens, Tennessee. And it just so happens, yours truly has been preaching the word on crawl spaces for just about as long. And we both make videos. This church here in Athens, Tennessee, they found Richard and gave him that position because of how awesome they saw that he was in his videos. And guess what? That's the same reason he hired me. Not because of my preaching abilities at church, because of how good we are at these crawl spaces. And what's crazy about this house right here that they've built is whenever you get out, and let me just walk right back here real fast. I'm gonna try to hurry for you guys. Look back here behind me. Look at this house. Notice when you get over there on that side, that ground is all sloping away. Look right here on this side. Look at how that ground's all sloping away. Right here in front of the house, it's all coming to me. And behind the house, I'll show you in just a second, it's all sloping away as well. And when you get called out to inspect a home, especially a brand new construction at that is still not even 100% finished, and they say they've got a water problem, and you come out here and you see that that house is sitting right dead center in the middle of a hill, you sure ain't expecting to see too much water sitting down inside that crawl space. I know I'm not whenever I come out here on these job sites just like this, but I'm walking as fast as I can walk, baby. I'm trying to get back here to show you guys. But before I even open this crawl space door here in a second, I'm going to take just a moment as soon as I get back here by this porch, and I'm going to show you guys this graph that I made of this place whenever I came out here and performed this inspection, because I want to show you the design that I came up with, if I can even get in this gate here, to resolve these water problems that have been taking place underneath this brand new house. Give me one more second right up here and let me lay this paper down here and show this to you. Take a look at this guest house, guys. Look at the swimming pool, this back porch area, and you'll see every single bit of that right here on this graph that I made. But all that I need you to focus on is what is double lined here, and that is the crawl space that we are getting ready to get inside. But take note on these piers, and look how I designed this drain line to all be connected to our inside perimeter drain line. And the reason that we had to connect these piers is because, as every single one of you are getting ready to see in my very first time being here, the inspection photos that I took, you are not going to believe what lied inside that crawl space door right there just a few short weeks ago. Hey, stay with me right here and take a look. So at this point, I'm still pretty much just in awe of how beautiful this entire estate is. And I'm just sitting there in my head and I'm like, man, it's just crazy how a house this beautiful and this new can look like it's looking right now in these photos. Can you guys freaking believe this? Look at every single pier around this entire foundation. Look around this entire perimeter of this foundation. I saw 13 largemouth bass schooling right there in that corner. One of them had to be a state record. Come on down, guys. This entire ground, notice it had no moisture barrier whatsoever. And just look at how saturated and muddy all of it was. Take a look at how wet the foundation was, where it was full of water. And look at all of the fungus that was already growing on all of the joists in the subfloor. And yes, if you're already wondering, they did have to have a sporicidin treatment performed before we were able to begin any of our drainage work or any of our crawl space encapsulation work. You're also going to see quite a bit of excess concrete debris and rubble that we had to remove. Guys, we filled up my entire dump trailer on this project. It was nearly a $100 dump bill. And let me tell you, coming out of a crawl space, that's a pretty big dump bill, I promise you. And it's funny because I can distinctly remember Richard and I discussing this on the phone before I had ever seen it. And he was telling me, Tanner, I'm telling you, brother, it's bad under here. There's water everywhere. And I'm just like, man, I'm totally underestimating it, as he's telling me. And I'm like, how can it be that freaking bad under there if it's that brand new? I mean, it ain't even had a chance to get that wet, has it? And guys, just look at those pipes right there, at all that condensation dripping from overhead. All of those floor joists were wet. I mean, what a problem. And just thank goodness Richard decided to call when he did. If this problem had been left to go any longer, I could only imagine the damage that it would have caused to this brand new house. Man, I'm telling you, that is still hard for me to believe, especially whenever all of you see what I'm getting ready to show you. And as most of you watching already know, as soon as you crawl inside any of our finished crawl space encapsulation projects, you just reach overhead, flip a light switch, and baby, you got lights throughout this entire brand new crawl space encapsulation. Let's go take a look at all of this. And I know that most of you are sitting there right now mesmerized at what all you see right here before you. And you may think you appreciate what you see right now, but let me tell you something. There's not a possible chance that you can appreciate anything you see right here before you on this project unless I spend a few moments with you right now and insert some actual clips from while the progress was taking place of getting this thing transformed from that pond that you've seen in my inspection photos to what you see right here before you. And I want to share all that with you. Take a look. And no, that's not the Ocoee River that you're looking at right there with all those whitewater rapids from the 1996 Olympic Games. That's a little thing called pitching the ground to make sure that that water is flowing exactly how you want it to flow over to your intended basin point where all that water is going to be collected, just as you're going to see right here by your sump pump, where that sump pump is then going to send all of that collected water outside of the home so that your customers and the homeowners don't have any more problems with all of that problematic water that they've been having problems with inside of that problematic crawl space, baby. Woo! Now take a look here. There's a lot of crucial steps that also got to take place when prepping your basin. You got to cut the other hole for the inlet line to come in. And then you got to also be sure to drill your holes, because as I learned the hard way back many moons ago, if you don't drill holes in your basin, whenever that water starts filling up that basin point, it will float your basin plumb up out of the ground. So if you want to find that one out the hard way, go ahead and find out for yourself. Or if you want to avoid that from happening, go ahead and start drilling holes in your basin before you put it down inside your basin point. Right here, you're going to see Hector drilling on the foundation wall to ensure that we've got weep holes in place so that all that water that was being held inside of that foundation wall can then come out, just as you're seeing right there, and be released so that it can flow down inside of our drain line and make its way over to our basin point exactly as how we want it to be doing. And then right here coming up, you're going to see how much hard work is involved whenever David and Valentine and Hector are dragging in all of these rocks, trying to get all of these bags under here so that they can begin filling up all of our drain lines.
David, what you doing, man? Okay, hurry up.
And speaking of our drain lines, just note right here, all of our fittings, look at our drainage fabric, check out how our drainage pipe does have the filter sock all the way around it, just like we always use on all of our projects.
David, what's that on your head?
What?
What you got on your head, man?
It's my hat's muddy, I told you. Put it on. Check my hair.
Where you find that at?
I made it.
And there's Valentine back at it, hard at work, getting our drain lines filled up with all of our drainage gravel. And then take note right here of all of this water just pouring inside of this basin point. You can see all of the holes inside the basin that I mentioned earlier. And now let me be quiet just for a second. Can you hear that water, guys? Can you believe how much water is actually coming through that foundation wall? I mean, no wonder Richard was getting so much water inside of this crawl space. I'm dead serious, guys. When Hector was sending me these daily progress videos and I was seeing that water flowing that you're all seeing right there, I'm just sitting there thinking in my head, man, I hope this isn't the first project in history that we might actually need 2 sump pumps in one basin, because I've always wondered if that's ever going to be required on any of these projects. And just look right here and you'll see why, because this was on a Monday morning after we had left our utility pump off over the weekend, and just look at how much water had been collected right there at our basin point. But that was actually good news, because that did tell us that all of that water was going exactly where we wanted it to go. And now look here at my boys racing. And as you can see, Senor Valentine smoked the gringo with ease.
David loved the woods.
This woods is cool. Look at it, everybody. Hector, everybody on camera. We've made a mess right here, but it's pretty back here.
This is when young Simmons is actually in his true environment.
Look at this. I'm gonna pick it up, but it's stuck.
Do you need that for your fish tank?
I like it. It's stuck. It's in the ground real good. It was down underwater. It's cool though. creek. We'll take all this mud and put it all out here it'll help the trees.
Oh, is that so, young Simmons? Thank you for sharing that fine information. Now back up the hill you go, sir. Cheerio, cheerio. And there's only one way to get a giant mound of dirt out of a crawl space, and you can see Hector hard at work right here before you doing exactly that. It involves sleds, it involves short shovels, and it involves a lot of back-breaking labor, and there ain't nobody better at it than these guys.
David, I know you love creeks, but you ain't gonna find no animals right there.
Get out of here. Let me do my thing.
You ain't gonna find no anacondas in there.
If you're wondering where all of that water goes whenever it gets discharged outside of the home, well, that was our discharge line before it was backfilled, and right there is our pop-up emitter, and that thing is always ready to squirt, baby. Woo!
And in case every single one of you watching couldn't tell from those clips that you just seen, we ain't got no time for crying here at Tennessee Technicians. I just showed you some of the hardest, most physically demanding work that anyone can participate in. And good luck finding anyone to come in here and even do any of that work, much less bring you the results that we've been bringing you right here at Tennessee Technicians since I started the company in November 2005. Let's go on through this crawl space and see the rest of it, baby. Woo! And before we turn this corner here, let me turn back around real quick. Focus back there on where our basin point is. And remember, on a ton of our projects, when we're performing our drainage services, you guys will all recall how we do our inside perimeter French drain all the way around the inside perimeter of the crawl space. However, in situations like we've already mentioned real quick, all the times that you see ponds around every single one of the piers in the crawl space, guys, you got to address that and be able to connect that to channel that water then over into your outside perimeter drain, and you got to make sure all of that is pitched, then leading that water over there to your intended collection point where that sump pump is going to capture it and then send all of that problematic water outside of this crawl space so that it is no longer a problem inside the crawl space. And due to all of the additional drainage lines that I have been mentioning that we decided to put around all of the pier lines, guys, this job ended up totaling a little over 24,000 pounds of drainage gravel. You heard me right. That was not an exaggeration. This job is the official Tennessee Technicians record for the most drainage rock that we have ever had to put inside one of our drainage projects, guys. That's right, over 12 tons of gravel. But now my buddy Richard and his family, they no longer have to worry about any of that water becoming an issue inside of their brand new house. Check out some of that detail work, guys, around all of those penetration points. And as we make our way up the side of the house here, let me post up right here real easy. Hold up here, guys. Hold up. Check this out. Here we go. Look at that, guys. I got to give a big thank you and shout out to my team real fast, guys. You see, I hardly did any of that work. I did not do any of the drainage work on this project whatsoever. And the only areas that I even touched a piece of poly was way up there right next to the crawl space entry door and right there around our basin point. This entire job was done by Hector, his brother Valentine, and David Simmons. And guys, you three could not have done a better job than what I see right here behind me. I'm so proud of you, and I want to say thank you in front of the whole world, and the whole world's watching, and the whole world is as blown away with your guys' efforts as I am, whether they take the time to mention it to you or not. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm proud of you. You guys are the best, and there ain't nobody that can touch us. And as long as we keep up this work ethic, guys, as long as we continue with this quality that we've always delivered right here at Tennessee Technician, there is not a single company in the entire world that stands a chance at competing with the best in the business when it comes to these crawl space encapsulations. You know what I'm talking about. You heard what I'm saying, and you've been hearing what I'm saying, and you better listen to what I'm saying, because it's your wallet that depends on it. It's your money, and if you want to waste it, by God, go ahead and waste it. Right here in front of you guys is our first of 3 humidistat fans on this project. Shout out to all my friends over at Churnland. These are our V2D models. Guys, notice how we like to set our humidistats right around 40% there. Those are the exhaust systems of our project. All of this air, once it is sealed up, as you see before you here, guys, notice all the way to the tops of the walls. Notice to the tops of the piers, guys. There's not a company in the world that you can compare us to. And whenever you seal them up like we seal them up, you better have you some exhaust. If not, you will have stagnant odors build up inside this crawl space, and it will make its way up into the living quarters of the home. And if you doubt me, go ahead and waste your money like I just said a few moments ago. Contrary to popular belief, I ain't too easy to get a hold of. You see, I do not answer my phone. If you want to talk to me, you've got to sit through one of the most obnoxious voicemails anyone could possibly sit through. That sucker's probably over 2 minutes long. I mean, the only way I would even listen to it if I was a customer is if I was 100% certain going to get a job done with Tanner Flowers. Well, once they leave me a voicemail, most of them go ahead and send me a text as well. And you see, once I follow up with them, then they find out they've got to pay a $500 consultation fee just to get me to come to your house and talk to you. Now, how many people you think want to do that? Not too many, I assure you. And I thank you for all the ones that don't, because I don't want to come and give you any of my time or any of my information, no more than I want to even believe that you exist and are willing to waste my time to receive some free information. I ain't into that stuff. So once again, if you're willing to pay that $500 consultation fee, then you got to find out if you want to do a job with me, you got to pay 100% of your contract in full, or we ain't working for you. And if you got a problem with that, I could care less, because I don't care if we ever get a job for you or not. I am only interested in doing business with people who are cool to do business with, for one, who keep their word, for 2, and number 3, most importantly, appreciate the type of quality that you see us bringing to the table on each and every single project you see me posting videos about right here at youtube.com/Tanner Flowers. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, by the way. If you haven't done so already, it really helps the algorithm. And right here to my left is our big boy Santa Fe Advanced Dehumidifier System. Now guys, I always try to go over a few things here with you. This is not just for those of you watching. This is actually for Richard as well. Check this out, Richard. You see this dial right here? If this right here at the bottom center was 6 o'clock, and you say maybe right here at this point was 9 o'clock, look guys, I like for this thing to be set right here around 7:30. Notice, if need be, we could crank that mother all the way up to here. If also need be, we can back her back down. You want to look right over here to your switch. Always make sure that that switch is set to auto. And then whenever you look right here, you might be able to look closely. Look at that water, look at that water. Here it goes. Woo, baby, there it goes. Filling up right here in this condensate pump, where it will then be collected until it trips a float switch and then sends that water up and over to our sump pump basin, where it is then discharged outside the home completely. Now Richard, you asked me on the phone a little bit earlier about how to service your dehumidifier system. Well, we actually do that for you. It's a $75 charge every 6 months, as long as you've only got one dehumidifier like you got now. Look here, this is a magnetic strip. It goes right up the sides of both sides of your dehumidifier. That filter is just inside there. All you've got to do is pull that strip off, pull that filter that you see right there out of that unit, replace that then with your new filter, put your strip back on, and voila, that's taken care of. Then you also want to come right down here into your drain line. You want to get you one of those brushes, it's got those bristles like they clean baby bottles with or something. And you always want to clean that tube out, because what will happen a lot of times, that'll form like some sludge that you'll see a lot of times on like HVAC discharge lines. And you want to make sure that thing is always clean so that that water can freely flow down into the condensate pump, as it is doing right here before all of your very eyes. All right, now that I've went over that dehumidifier information with you, let's get back over here. Let's go back here to this front corner and continue the tour of this finished crawl space encapsulation. I keep hitting my head on these pipes. And as we continue making our way over here to the far side of the home, what a lot of you guys are also not aware of is that underneath every single bit of this 20 mil fiberglass reinforced poly that you see here before you is also a brand new 6 mil ground barrier that we put in place before we install any of this 20 mil down. You never want any of this 20 mil sitting right atop of a muddy area, because like right here at this seam point, even though you see that we have sealed that completely, it's all anchored into the ground, guys. I'm telling you, water can come through areas that you cannot even visibly see with your eyes. You'll be sitting there looking right at a puddle of water going, where in the world is that freaking water coming from? And guys, that's why you always got to take the time to address these drainage issues properly, so that your customers don't end up having a pond built up on top of their brand new crawl space encapsulation. Notice just like back there on our first one, you will see we've got that set just a little bit past 40%. Just like on the dehumidifier setting, those humidistat fans can be turned all the way up to the point where they actually stay on 100% of the time. They can be turned all the way back down to completely off. And like I tell all of my customers, if anyone ever has a problem, if it's emitting too much noise on you, I never really have any complaints. But if it does become an issue for any of you, you can always buy a timer to set those things on, and make sure that it doesn't come on at nighttime or something. Say it's underneath your bed and you're hearing it whenever you're trying to sleep at night. Like I said, just always thinking ahead, guys. That's just a way to solve a quick, easy issue. Check that out, guys. What a beautiful, beautiful crawl space. You know, if you do not have a storm shelter down here around this foundation of the crawl space, is one of the safest places, in my opinion, that a person could get to in times of bad storms like we encounter here in the Southeast Tennessee region. Right here before you is our big, deep sump pump basin. I am not going to unbolt those screws and take those out, but down inside there is our sump pump. Both ends of our drain line is coming into that, and that is letting that fill up anytime it rains until it trips that float switch and then sends that water outside the home, where it comes out in the yard via a pop-up emitter and then goes downhill over there away from the home, so that none of that is coming back right here against the foundation of the crawl space. And Richard, you were asking me where your monitor was. It's been sitting right here on top of your crawl space entry, and right now it is already down to 51% inside here. Keep in mind, they did not get that dehumidifier up and running full time until last night. Right now, I've got this crawl space door right here before me cracked open, and with all of my body heat, guys, I'm sweating like crazy. Once again, all the way down to 51%. This will definitely be below 50% within the next upcoming few days here, especially as long as he leaves this crawl space door shut. I'm going to bring this monitor, Richard, and set it up here on your back porch next to your back door, buddy. All right. I got my gun, I got my keys, I've got my ink pen. Turn these lights out for you, Richard, and let me get out here. I'll get this door closed up for you, and then I'll go up here and set that monitor, like I said, right up there by your back door for you. Look here, Richard, I'm gonna set your monitor for you right there on top of your thermometer for right here whenever you come outside your back door. And guys, for all of you that have followed along with me all the way up to this point, if any of you watching are dealing with moisture problems inside your crawl space, whether it be an old house or a new house, I would encourage each of you watching that is encountering those problems to invest a little bit of your time and watch my videos right here at youtube.com/TannerFlowers. And also go to my website at crawlspaceartist.com. Artist is plural. And it ain't for my benefit, guys. Hey, let me tell you something. I don't care who's watching and who's listening. We got more work than I could even ever do if I wanted to do it. I got more real estate projects going on than I can even keep up with. I'm sitting here worried about how we're going to even get to that pond clean out this week. I've got so many $500 consultations waiting for me to get to their house, and I don't even know when I'm able to get there, guys. That's what kind of world I live in. So look, I ain't here to play, and I mean what I say. So if you want to do business, we can do some business. And if you don't, and you're here to price shop and all that, let me tell you something. I ain't putting in no bids. I could care less what anybody's going to do that job for you for. Matter of fact, I 110% hope that I'm always more expensive than any other person in the world that you could ever get on the other end of that phone concerning these issues that we deal with and take care of over and over and over and been taken care of for so many years right here at Tennessee Technicians. I'm going to stop this video right now before I have a freaking heart attack. If you want something done, feel free to go through the gauntlet at 423-503-0512. You already know how we do, and come find out for yourself exactly why so many people around the world choose to do business with this loudmouth tattooed up boy from Southeast Tennessee named Tanner freaking Flowers.